Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brew Jackets, a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin. Joining me tonight, we have my guy, Hefty Duck, and my guy, William. On today's show, a lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world. We got to talk about the last 3 games that the Blue Jackets played. They lost to the Sabres. No, I'm sorry, back that up. They played the Ducks and they beat them 7-4. Then they lost to the Sabres 2-1. And this past Sunday, the Blue Jackets beat the New York Rangers 4-2. Matthew Olivier got into a big fight. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We got some Gavin Brindley stuff to share. Blue Jackets prospect Gavin Brindley. Also, we got Blue Jackets prospect William Whitelaw stuff to share. And so much more. A lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world, and we're going to talk about it. So welcome to the show, everyone.
Tons. Welcome in. Thanks, everyone, for being here. There's something I want to talk about first because it was kind of one of the biggest news here recently. One, great win against the Rangers. Nice win against the Ducks, too. I mean, they're not quite as highly ranked as the Rangers are, but nice win. And, the Sabres, it is what it is. It's because I was at that game. So, of course, it's, kind of tough.
You were at the game on Sunday and they won.
Ace says Strongbow, a cider. Ace, hey, have a real brew. I have a allergy to wheat, barley, and rye, and that would kill me. So I think I'll stick to ciders, buddy. Thanks, though.
Yeah.
Who is this person? Do you guys know this Ace person?
I don't.
I don't know.
He's a Bruins fan, though. So.
Okay. Just curious. Anyway, there's some first thing tonight. So, there's a new player on the team, and an old one has left. So, Emil Bemstrom is, I got you. Emil Bemstrom has been traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins for Alexander Nylander, the younger brother of the other William Nylander. William Nylander. And so that's pretty cool. I mean, it's like 2-pod stack pods. Oh, okay. What's up, Ace? How's it going? There's a gluten-free brewery around here too. I cannot ever find their stuff in stores, and it's like a 2-hour drive for me. So maybe one of these times. And thanks for the comments too. We appreciate that too. We always love talking to the guys during the show. I mean, we don't have a strict set schedule here because we do it live. New guy, Alex Nylander. I got to see him play the other night in person, and that was pretty neat. I'd say at the moment it's his first game, for this team. At the moment, he produced about as much as Emil did, so not much. But okay, so there's a stipulation to this as well because Emil Bemstrom was like a UFA after this season. He could have walked, and we could have got nothing for him. But we got a 6th round draft pick with the condition if Bemstrom gets 6 goals for the Penguins the rest of this year, it turns into a 3rd round pick, which could be huge. And he went and scored in his very first game for the Penguins too. So maybe we'll get a 3rd round pick. I'm not going to hold my breath for it. A pick's a pick.
I am.
Right? And there's always Nylander. I don't exactly know what kind of player he is yet. I only saw him once in person. He seemed pretty speedy. He seemed eager to get back on the on defense as well. So that's good to see because there's a couple who may be out there who have not do that as much. The back check's a little rough sometimes.
Yeah, so what I saw of again, it's one game, it's a small sample size of Alex Nylander, but from what I saw, I liked it. I thought it was good. And he played good on the 3rd line with Cole Sillinger and Kent Johnson. And after the game, I was on Twitter, and the numbers back this up, is that when they were on the ice, the analytics for them were good. Again, it's one game, a small sample size, but so far it it looks good, and from what I've seen is from Alex Nylander, he has a similar story of Emil Bemstrom. He's been a little up, a little down. He's had his moments where he doesn't look good, but then he has moments where he does look good. And when he does look good, it's just like, wow, that was an awesome play right there.
Yeah.
Like Emil Bemstrom. And in terms of Emil Bemstrom,
John
it,
Davidson's first move.
it's John Davidson's first move. He is the interim GM for the Blue Jackets. But in terms of Emil Bemstrom, he was an average at best player for the Blue Jackets, some ups, some downs. Sometimes he wasn't there, sometimes he was there. And when he was there, you really did notice him, whether that be offensively or defensively. He did have a really good shot that he used to score some big goals for the Blue
Speedy,
Jackets.
too.
He's speedy. He's really good on the power play. So there are some things he did good for the Blue Jackets. But you have to think it just comes down to this, is that I do think that Bemstrom was eventually going to get to the point where he wasn't going to have a spot on the Blue Jackets anymore. And for this reason and this reason only, is that when you look at where the Blue Jackets are right now, they're slowly building themselves up. They have a lot of young up and coming talent that's either here or will be here in the next year or two. And you could start to see it already. Guys like Kent Johnson, Cole Sillinger, Yegor Chinikov,
David Yurchek.
David
Well, he's not a
Yurchek.
forward, but
But
these
David,
guys are cooking.
but you can see it right now. You got guys like Kirill Marchenko, Cole Sillinger, Kent Johnson, Yegor Chinikov, Dmitry Voronkov. You can start to see some of these guys already playing with the Blue Jackets, playing good, and they're already taking spots. So whatever chance you had, it's already getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you're not going to take that spot now, you're eventually going to get to a point to where you don't have that spot anymore. Because now you think about it, eventually Gavin Brindley's going to be here. Jordan Dumais is going to be here eventually. A guy like Sposal, a guy like Corson Kuhlman's, David Yurchek, a James Malatesta. You can go down the list of all the prospects that the Blue Jackets have, and they look good. Eventually, these guys are going to come, and if you don't take this spot now, you're not going to have it. And eventually, that's what has happened to Emil Bemstrom. You just, you had your good moments there. You just weren't able to be consistent and take that spot to where it's yours and that there's nothing that you could do to take it away from him. But he never had that, he didn't do it. You were just sometimes good.
Well,
and that's what it is.
Down
it's
on
good that you get a
waivers.
draft pick for him and a player.
It's because they had sent him down on waivers a couple of times, and he came back up. I mean, he's a good player. He's like almost too good for the AHL, and almost not quite for the NHL. Not that he isn't. I mean, he's obviously scores goals and he plays well, but there's a logjam in players right now, just in general. In the defensive positions especially, I wouldn't be surprised if all trade rumors out there. If some defensemen may get traded, I wouldn't be surprised at a couple other moves. But because he's the interim GM, I could also understand if John Davidson doesn't make many more moves because there's a new GM coming and they have a plan. So one thing real quick. So yeah, Emil Bemstrom got sent down on waivers a couple times. Do you think that maybe he lasted as long as he did in part because Yarmo had drafted him?
That probably played a role into that. But what I also think what played a role into that is that I think he just has the qualities, the type of qualities that you want in a player, and you just don't want to give up on. You don't want to be that guy and say, let's say he doesn't what you trade him or whatnot, and then he goes to another team and then he plays really good. It's like, damn, that could have been us.
Dude, it could happen too. That's happened to the Blue Jackets several times.
It's happened to the Blue Jackets, and the Blue Jackets have been a benefit to that, where they get some guy who hasn't played as good, and then they comes to the Blue Jackets and he plays really good. Sam Gagner was an example of that. he had some moments where he looked good for the Oilers, but then he just was just eh. And then they let him go. The Blue Jackets signed him on a 1-year deal for the 2016-2017 season, and he's an absolute stud, and he dominates. He plays so good to the point to where he plays himself out of a contract for the Blue Jackets because the contract that he would have, got, well, he did get a contract, but it was just too expensive for the Blue Jackets to pay. They would have been able to afford it. But
That's true because there's a lot of RFAs this year, pending RFAs, and they're gonna need to sign new contracts.
yeah,
Off the top of my head, Johnson, I think Chinikov signed last year, um, but there's a couple more, and they need to sign. They're gonna have to be paid more because they're
right.
performing so well. I mean, like
So
look at
I
Veronkov, look at
I do think in terms of Bencham, I think Yarmo drafted that probably had something to do with it, but I think it's because the thing is you look at him, he's good on offense and he's good on the power play and that shot that he has. We've seen him do it with the Monsters and the Blue Jackets. That's just a special talent that you really can't teach someone. Very few players have a shot like that, and he's good defensively. He has other good qualities as well. But me personally, I think those qualities that he has something to do with it. You would hate to give that up, and then he starts cooking somewhere else, and oh shit, that should have been us because that
or they're like Seth Jones, and
well,
they move on to not do quite as good.
so
I'm kind of joking. I mean, the Blackhawks aren't really the best maybe to showcase your talent if you're a talented player this year.
no, so I do think that has something to do with it. It's probably Yarmo drafted him, but I also think because he does have that talent, in particular his shot, and he's good on the power play. That really talent, those stuff is kind of hard to find. So that probably kept him in there too, is that he was also just a reliable guy you could count on to play if you needed someone to play. There's room for people like that in the NHL, but it just got to a point to where it just like, thanks for everything, but we don't have. You're going to run out of time if this keeps going, and it is because the Blue Jackets have a lot of young up and coming talent that's with them now, and it will be here eventually in the next year or two. So if you don't take this spot now, you're not going to have it. And he didn't. So off he goes, and best of luck to you. And we'll see
Yeah.
what we have with Alex Nylander. And either you get a 6th-round draft pick or a 3rd-round draft pick. But either way, it's a draft pick, and that helps out. And yeah, the Blue Jackets don't have Yarmo, but in more recent years, they've shown that they're good at drafting. So a 6th-round pick or a 3rd-round draft pick, I'll take it.
Could be surprising. So one thing about Alex Nylander real quick is that he is a pending RFA as well at the end of the season. So restricted free agents, just for anyone who might not fully know, you have to give them a qualifying offer, and the qualifying offer is a certain amount. If they reject that, I think there has to be some negotiation if you give them
No.
the qualifying offer.
If you give them, well, what it goes is this: is if you give them the offer and they reject it, you hold their rights, and all that means
Right.
is now you can negotiate
Just
now.
trade them or something.
Yeah, now you can negotiate with them to keep a deal or trade them. But now because you gave them that offer and they said no, the team has all the cards in that scenario that
Right.
that guy can't go anywhere. But if you don't give him an offer at all, then out he goes, and then he can sign as.
So I just want to point out really quick one thing, and then William here wants to say something real quick as well. So Jack Roslovic is the only pending UFA unrestricted free agent after this season at a $4 million cap hit currently. I'll be interested to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I personally am a Jack Roslovic fan. I'm a fan of all the guys, but and the hometown guy and everything too, but we'll see where that goes. Anyway, William said that he has an interesting point.
So, if you think about it, and I saw this tweet when all this news about Bemstrom first broke, and it's been in my mind every time I've talked about this. It's just Bemstrom was a guy that Yarmo could. It was one of Yarmo's favorites. Yarmo could rely on him. And then after we lose Yarmo, the first guy out is Bemstrom. If you think
I
about it.
know, right? I think I saw the same tweet because that's like kind of where I was going earlier with that. Yeah,
That's
hilarious.
just what I wanted to bring up. If you think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's good.
and it's not, anything. Oh, hey, real quick too. I broke a story last week that was pretty interesting. So I want to talk about this. Then let's go to talk about some. No, you know what? I'll talk about that later. What we need to do, because we're talking about RFAs, UFAs, prospects, and everything like that. Let's talk about some of the Blue Jackets' current prospects right now and the future of the Blue Jackets.
Yes.
Kev, you got some stuff for us, yeah?
I do. First, I didn't have enough time to get this in before the show, so I'm reading this off my phone here, which is I saw this on Instagram, and it was the top leading scorers in the Big Ten for hockey this season, and Gavin Brindley is number one with 31 games played, 20 goals, 42 points, and that's averaging 1.35 points per game.
Wow.
And when you look at this list for top scorers in the Big Ten, the first 6 players in this list are all players that played at Michigan. So, like, we've talked about this on the show before, just like how historically, generally speaking, how Michigan has a history of just being good at hockey, and the Blue Jackets have benefited from that, like Jack Johnson and Kent Johnson, Nick Blankenberg, Adam Fantilli, Kent Johnson, Zach Werenski, now Gavin Brindley. So, like, when I saw that in this top 10 list, that 6 of the 10 players are players who play at Michigan, Gavin Brindley having the number 1 spot, it just reinforces to me, like, wow, like, that's pretty damn good that 6 of the 10 people in the top 10 list for Big Ten scoring as of February 2024 are players who played at Michigan.
Yeah. And then add in too, for when he comes in the future, he's already played with some of the guys that are on the team now. Yeah. He's literally played with Fantilli, and I believe he played with Kent Johnson too for like a year before Kent Johnson came to the NHL, I think.
No.
That was like 2 years ago. Is this Kent Johnson's third season? Am I just...
Yeah.
Hold on. I literally have it right here.
So Kent Johnson came into the league during the 2021-2022 season, played like the final, I want to say like 9 games of the season. Then the following year, 2022-2023, played that season. And then then he played this season again. So this would be 3 seasons, but this would be like his second like full season.
Right. Because he came in at the end of after they won the championship that year. Him and Nick Blankenberg, I believe.
Yeah, after that season, Michigan was in the Frozen Four, and then they got knocked out. And then this past season, Michigan was in the Frozen Four again and got knocked out. So that's the first thing that I've shared is Gavin Brindley, as of February 2024, is the top in scoring for the Big Ten in hockey. So there's that.
No.
He does. So I have some Gavin Brindley clips. Wanted to show them on the show last week. I just didn't have them in time for the show, but I got them this time, so we're going to show them. The first one is Gavin Brindley setting up an awesome goal. He passes it to a Michigan player, and the Michigan player scores, and it was just a beautiful pass. And Michigan is playing Penn State, so here's the video.
This one escapes Marshall Warren. He'll stride back to get it. Sarlo's in there to let him know he's there. Little bump, got rid of the puck now. Banked on for Brindley. He doesn't need much space. Good pass. Nazar! And he scores! Frank Nazar and Gavin Brindley. I said
that was pretty sick.
Yeah, so I'll play it again so you can see it. So Gavin Brindley, number 4 on Michigan, who's a Blue Jackets prospect, had an awesome pass to help set up a goal for Michigan. So here's the video. and it
Yeah.
happens pretty quick. So you got to pay attention to number 4 in the video.
This one escapes Marshall
Well,
Warren.
I don't know if it's
He'll
good enough for
stride
the
back to
audio
get it.
listeners, but
Sarlo's in there.
I'm not going to
let him know he's
describe
there.
this because the
Little bump
announcer is
got rid of the
talking right
puck
now.
Banked on for Brindley. He doesn't need much
announcing.
space. Good pass. Nazar, and he scores.
What a pass.
Frank Nazar.
That's
and
great to
Gavin
see, too,
Brindley,
because that's great to see because, we always love big goal scorers. I mean, we had Marchenko come in last year and get like 18 goals and like no assists, which he's kind of doing the opposite this year, but he has plenty of goals. I'm not saying that. But,
I'm just going to play it one more time so you can see it. So again, pay attention on the screen. Number 4, Gavin Brindley with an awesome pass.
This one escapes Marshall Warren. He'll stride back to get it. Sarlo is in there to let him know he's there. Little bump, got rid of the puck now. Banked on for Brindley. He doesn't need much space. Good pass. Nazar, and he scores! Frank Nazar and Gavin Brindley.
So there's that video. Gavin Brindley setting up a goal with an awesome pass. Here is a goal that Gavin Brindley scored this past Friday against Notre Dame. And this, I don't know why the volume is so loud on this. That's just how it is. So, if you're listening,
headphone warning.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, it's going to be really loud. So you might want to turn it down.
Starting.
Anyways, here it is.
It's pretty loud at the end there.
So I'll play it one more time so you can see it. So it's just a good passing play that helps set up to Gavin Brindley. He's right in front of the net, and he puts it in the net.
Yeah. I'll describe this a bit for people. So he just gets a neat little pass there in front of the net and smashes it home. You can see why he's such a high scorer in the NCAA because he's just on point. There was no hesitation, no mistake. It was like butter, man, smooth.
Mm-hmm. So that's the first goal. Gavin Brindley also scored a goal this past Saturday against Notre Dame, and it was a snipe, an absolute beautiful shot. And honestly, when you see the video, if you're Notre Dame, you really can't be too upset about that because you played that perfectly defensively. You took away the middle of the ice because that looked like that's what Gavin Brindley wanted to do. So you forced him to the outside. You didn't really give him anywhere to do except kind of shoot it on an angle, and Gavin Brindley shoots it and he scores, and it's a beautiful snipe, just an awesome goal. So here it is, right here.
A heavy load in the defensive end. 2 freshmen, Nelson and Knubel.
Faceoffs now even at 6 apiece. Edwards backtracks in his own end. Out the center to Warren. Brindley now with that speed comes in. Gavin Brindley shoots and he scores! A bullet up top. And Brindley.
He's like the fastest one out there. You can see his strength already too. I mean, he's playing in college, but wow.
So I'll play it again. I'll play it again so you can see it. Just an absolute beautiful goal, a beautiful shot by Gavin Brindley. And again, honestly, if you're Notre Dame, you can't be too upset about that because you played everything right about it defensively. You kept him away from the middle. You pushed him to the outside. You gave him a hard angle to shoot at it, and he just beat you. Sometimes you just have to say, hey, we did everything we could, but he just beat us, and you tip your hat. So here's the goal again, Gavin Brindley. Awesome goal.
A heavy load in the defensive end. 2 freshmen, Nelson and Knubel.
Faceoffs now even at 6 apiece. Edwards backtracks in his own end. Out the center to Warren. Brindley now with that speed comes in. Gavin Brindley shoots and he scores! A bullet up top. And Brindley, this one.
Pretty damn good goal for Gavin Brindley. One last Gavin Brindley clip, then we'll move on to the William Whitelaw goal. We've shown this on the show before. This seems to be a thing with Gavin Brindley, that he must be one of the people that does this. Like, it's like they threw it on a dartboard. It's like, okay, you got to be the guy that does this. And that is, it must be some sort of pregame ritual that Gavin Brindley is one of the people that just kind of like hangs out on the top of the net before the game. We've shown videos of him doing this, and I guess that he does it again. Also, in the same video, we have another angle of Gavin Brindley scoring that awesome goal that we just showed you. So here it is.
I wonder, is that the other alternate captains? You're muted though. Sorry.
That's probably it, if that was my guess.
Yeah, that would make sense. I saw there was like a puck drop at the beginning. Was this the one game Adam Fantilli was at? There's a couple different angles for that last goal. Nice Sally. Down on the knee, pumping the fist. Perfect. That's hilarious.
I'll play it one more time so you can see it, and then we'll be done with that one.
I'll describe this real quick for the audio listeners. So basically, it looks like there's three guys. Brindley's in the middle of them, and before the game, they're like having a powwow in front of the their goal they're defending, and they all huddle around the net, and they kind of hop on top of the back of it. It's kind of funny. Boom! You can see he gets so that's the goal that we watched earlier. You can see it gets right over glove side. I mean, it was so fast. Like the goalie was in the right position, almost making the right moves, but just couldn't get there in time. Like couldn't move fast enough. Yeah, pretty funny stuff. And then, so there's like a really random clip here, just real quick, of a puck drop of a game. So yeah, Adam Fantilli had been seen around the rink in Michigan here recently. He'd went and seen some Michigan games, and his brother Luca Fantilli. That's pretty cool. And of course his alma mater, where he went to college himself.
So those are the Gavin Brindley clips, and you're right, Hefty Duck. Adam Fantilli has been seen at Michigan hockey games.
Yeah.
So,
hey, let's get to Whitelaw right after. I'm going to do the ad read real quick.
Perfect. We will do the ad read and then the William Whitelaw goal.
Excellent. All righty. We know hockey games move fast, but with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you can score faster than anything happening on the ice. This week, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Let's look at the live DraftKings odds right now for the NHL. There are some games today. There's actually quite a few games today. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games tonight. Let's see which ones are the biggest matchups. Okay, here we go. Vegas Golden Knights versus Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs are favored on the money line, minus 162, and Vegas Golden Knights are a plus 136. That's interesting. We also have, on the opposite side of that whole spectrum, we have the Arizona Coyotes versus Montreal Canadiens. Look, I'm a Blue Jackets fan. I can't poke much fun. All right. Neither of them are favored. They're both in negative 110. So there's some crazy odds out there tonight. Tomorrow, the Rangers. So we just played the Rangers recently. The Jackets did, but they do play them again tomorrow. The Rangers are favored to win. It's a home game for the Rangers, minus 250 to plus 205 for the Jackets. So we'll see how that goes. It's not advice by any means. I have no clue what I'm doing. when it comes to betting. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app with code THPN. New customers bet just $5 on the NHL and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus, age varies per jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved. I don't know if I have to read the last part, but it's written here, and I'm supposed to read it all, so I do.
Yeah, you do.
Know.
But,
Anyway.
So from like I always do every week, from a betting perspective in the Ohio sports world, bet responsibly. Obviously, the Blue Jackets. The Crew started the season this past Saturday, got a big win, 1-0 over Atlanta, so you could go bet on them. There's
Baseball
the Cavs. There's the Cavs, Ohio State basketball, the Bearcats. And then before you know it, the Reds and Guardians will be back, so you could go bet on them when baseball season comes back. So a lot of fun stuff going on in the Ohio sports world.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, I just watched the Guardians game earlier, actually. They lost to Oakland, 11-1 or something, whatever.
Don't remind me.
It's preseason.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and cry about it because it's preseason. You know what I mean? For all I know, dude, I looked at the lineup. There was some guys I knew pretty well, and then there was also some dudes that I don't know who they are. They came up from the Clippers or something.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like that for the Reds too. I look and go, oh, okay, I know that guy. Oh, I don't know who that guy is. Okay, never mind.
I get it. I totally get it.
I get it. But that guy for the Guardians or the Reds, you say we don't know who that guy is. He might be very well just that guy who turns out to be the next big star for the team. And then we're like, oh, I feel terrible for saying I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, that's the way she goes. It's kind of like that. Not as much because we play a lot more intense, a lot more closer to the Blue Jackets because they're preseason. I'm like, yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, that guy's a PTO. This guy's been a prospect for this long. And there's just so many players in baseball, and there's so many games.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we have a couple more prospects to talk about, or at least another one for sure. William Whitelaw.
Yep. So William Whitelaw is a Blue Jackets prospect. He plays at Wisconsin. And his story is that he played for the Youngstown Phantoms. He helped to win the championship. And the dude, he's a smaller dude, but he scores goals. He's really good at shooting the puck. And there are other contributing factors, but that's a big reason why the Blue Jackets picked him in the 2023 NHL draft. Is he's a smaller dude that can score goals. And when you look at the history of the Blue Jackets, they have a history of picking dudes who are smaller but can score goals. Example, Cam Atkinson, Artemi Panarin, Johnny Gaudreau, and now William Whitelaw. Gavin Brindley, he's a smaller dude, but he can score goals. So it's not necessarily Jordan Dumais, smaller dude, can score goals. So it's not necessarily surprising that the Blue Jackets, again, picked another dude who's smaller but can score goals. And he's been playing at Wisconsin. He's been playing pretty good. And here's a goal he scored. Beautiful goal by William Whitelaw. And also playing at Penn State. Wisconsin versus Penn State. So here it is.
He was looking for Simon Mack cutting back door. Bucco keeps it in deep. DeMarsico whacks at it. It's picked up by William Whitelaw. Cross ice feed to Simon Tassi. Tassi trying to cut his way into center. Finds Whitelaw. He fires and he scores.
He just knew where to be.
The first shot of the game
when he
for
needed to be there
Wisconsin
and
is a
everything.
goal by William Whitelaw.
You see him get the puck, and he immediately, his head is up, and he finds that guy's stick perfectly. There's something that has not always been the case when it comes to the Blue Jackets in the last 2 seasons, really. I've been really noticing the passing's been a little bit at times. There's at times they show glimpses of like amazing passing, but hope that translates to the NHL.
So I will show the clip one more time of the goal scored by William Whitelaw. He is number 8 for Wisconsin. So again, William Whitelaw, when you're paying attention to the video, he is number 8 for Wisconsin. So here's the video. Great shot by William Whitelaw.
He was looking for Simon Mack cutting back door. Bucco keeps it in deep. DeMarsico whacks at it. But it's picked up by William Whitelaw. Cross ice feed to Simon Tassi. Tassi trying to cut his way into center. Finds Whitelaw. He fires and he scores. The first shot of the game for Wisconsin is a goal by William Whitelaw.
I didn't even realize that was their first shot, first goal. Wow. That's pretty cool. 100% shooting percentage.
Hey, that's efficient. It reminded me of when I went to a Reds game in 2014, and at that point in time in the game, the Reds were winning 1-0. They had 1 run on 1 hit. Efficient.
That's pretty sick. Dope.
So there you go. So there's videos of Gavin Brindley setting up a goal, Gavin Brindley scoring goals, and William Whitelaw, another Blue Jackets prospect, scoring a goal. And, you know, I'm always paying attention to Wisconsin and Michigan's hockey social media to see if they post anything about them. And if I do, I clip it, and I'm like, oop, that's going to go on the show. So I'm always paying attention. So
cool.
there's that.
So do you have any more clips?
I have no more clips, but we got to talk about the 2 wins that they just had.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about it. That's actually what I was going to get into. Sweet. I talked a little bit about it beforehand, but the Jackets pulled out some wins. This last win, let's go back to the Ducks win. They won 7-4. At one point, weren't they up 4-0?
Yes.
And the Ducks ended up scoring 1, 2, and then 3 goals.
No, it was in the Blue Jackets. So the Blue Jackets went in the first period. They're winning 3-0, and they go into the second period winning 3-0, and then
that's right.
And then the Blue Jackets score a goal. One more. It's 4-0. Things are looking good for the Blue Jackets, and then the Ducks score a goal, and then it was
4 goals.
It just went. Jeez,
it was tied 4-4.
Tied at 4-4. It just went down the pooper after that, and that was just like, you God, yikes! But to the Blue Jackets' credit, they came in the third period and they scored 3 goals and they won 7-4. And is it good that the Blue Jackets blew a 4-goal lead in the second period? No, it is absolutely not good. It is not okay. I don't like that. However, though, it is much better that happened in the second period than the third period because it happened in the second period. You have enough time to where you still have enough time to come back and try and win that game. And that's exactly what happened. You know, something must have been said in the locker room at the end of the second period to just, get their attention and just calm them down and say, hey, you know what? That wasn't the greatest. We did score a goal, but after that wasn't the greatest period. But you know what? We still got a period to go. We can win this. And whatever said was said, and it worked. It calmed them down. And the Blue Jackets went on to score 3 goals in that period.
They came out focused
to win 7-4. So, you take away blowing the 4-goal lead, and it was a pretty good game that the Blue Jackets played that game. Danil Tarasov, he had to leave the game for a bit because he gets poked in the eye,
in the face by his own teammate. Yeah,
and the only reason that happens is it's a play in front of the net. So the Ducks have the puck in their offensive zone, and they shoot it, and then it goes down low, and Adam Boquist is in front of the net playing defense, getting the Ducks players out of there, getting it clean for Tarasov so we can see. But in the process of Boquist doing that, the Ducks player pushes Boquist, and the momentum of Boquist getting pushed, that's when the stick gets into Danil Tarasov's face because Adam Boquist got pushed by a Ducks player. And then and then the Ducks shortly score, and then Tarasov goes down, understandably so, in pain, and then the Ducks score a goal shortly after that. And then Elvis Merzlikins comes in, and okay, so they give up 2 goals, not really his fault because he's coming in cold. But to Elvis Merzlikins' credit, he did make some big saves in that second period because that kept the Blue Jackets in the game. It kept it at 4-4 because if he didn't make those saves, that the way that game was going, that could have been a game where the Ducks could have just taken that over, and whatever chance the Blue Jackets had could have been just gone. But credit to Elvis Merzlikins, he made those big saves to keep the Blue Jackets in the game, tied at 4-4. Then in the third period, Danil Tarasov, he's able to come in, finish out the game, and he plays a pretty good game. Blue Jackets score 3 goals, and they win 7-4. So you take, that blowing the 4-goal lead thing, that sucked. But if you take that away, everything else was good about that game for the Blue Jackets. Everything else. Then you move
they
on.
absolutely were a force there on the offense there. I mean, there was some calls that night that were kind of questionable by the refs, and I don't mean against us. I saw a replay of Boone Jenner. It's when him and Chinikov and Gaudreau were out there, which was the line change up from him, Gaudreau, and Roslovic. And so, no, I'm totally wrong on this. What am I looking at? So we have John Gaudreau. It's power play. Anyway, yeah, Boone Jenner, basically a guy just like trips over Boone Jenner's leg, which could have been actually looked like a tripping call should have happened. Then he gives it Chinikov, he races down the ice and blasts her in with a little tic-tac-toe pass from Johnny Gaudreau.
But that was a good pass from Johnny Gaudreau to
Dude,
set up.
those passes were sick. Gaudreau passed it over to Jenner. Jenner passed it back to Gaudreau, who then passed it to Chinikov.
Yeah.
Who just like was already ahead of the play and easy.
So good game for the Blue Jackets besides blowing the 4-goal lead in the second period.
Like you said, better than the third.
Better than the third. So that's that. And then the game against Buffalo, for me, it just comes down to this. It was just kind of blah, average at best, kind of sloppy passing. The Blue Jackets did have some good chances to score, but it just came down to this for me personally. When the Blue Jackets had a chance to score, they only put it 1 in the net. When the Sabres had a chance to score, they put 2 in the net. And ultimately, that was really the difference in the game right there, is that when you had chances to score, you only put 1 in the net. And when the Sabres had chances to score, they put 2 in. And that was the end of that, unfortunately. But sometimes that's just how it works. And the Blue Jackets have been on the opposite side of that spectrum where, maybe the other team is playing better, but they only put like 1 or 2 in. And then the Blue Jackets put in like 3 or 4. And that's why you win the game. It just, kind of happens like that.
Well, it's almost like, I said this after the game. Someone said the NHL is a league of like games are games of like who can make the least amount of mistakes, almost as opposed to who could be better. Which obviously you make the least amount of mistakes, you're better. But Blue Jackets sometimes find ways to lose games at times, and this was one of them. It's hard to say exactly what, like, put my finger on what exactly went down, but there was definitely a breakdown between the team at that time. And I was there at that game. I had some really cool seats I was actually at the very, very top row over by like the party tower thing, like where the stairs are. So I had all the leg room you could ever ask for. I made a post about it on the Brew Jackets
I know.
site.
See, I've been going to Blue Jackets games since 2009, and I've sat in just about every section at Nationwide Arena. And when you posted that, even I didn't know that seat was a thing. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's the second one I found this year like that. There was one over in 209, which is about center ice in the upper bowl. And it's the very, very top. And because there's a post there, there's 2 seats in like a row of their own.
Yeah.
Just by themselves. And so I found that one earlier this year too. So I'm gonna my goal is let's find some other weird seats around the arena. I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah,
But
I enjoy that though. Every arena, every stadium usually has that like 1 or 2 seats that's kind of goofy and kind of original like that.
yeah, yeah. Some better than others. I've seen ones where they're like behind a post or something like a baseball game or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
So let's move on real quick to the Rangers Blue Jackets game. That was another one that I had the opportunity to be at and saw the Olivier fight in person, and it looked. I was talking to the gentleman beside me, and it looked like Rempe. I kept calling him Kempe too, because oops. But Rempe, it looked like he hit his head off the ice. Which so if you look at the picture of him recently, he's got like dark spots on the inside of his eyes, like where his nose is. So that could come from breaking your nose, or that can happen if you get a concussion bad enough too. It can damage up there. So whatever happened there, I saw a takeout there that Olivier didn't win that fight, and I'm not exactly sure why. So let me paint the picture for you real quick. Rempe. What's his first name? Matt Rempe? Matthew Rempe?
Matt.
He's like 6'7". All right. He's the tallest one on the ice. He's taller than Good Branson, who's 6'5". All right. This guy is 6'7". Olivier
He's a big
is,
boy.
I think, 6 foot, maybe 6'1". Oh, yeah. So he had 6 inches on Olivier, and Olivier agreed. Now, from what I understand, Rempe came to Olivier and asked if he wanted to fight, and Olivier obliged because he's that guy. And wow, it was a good fight in my opinion. It was clean. Everything went well. Unfortunately, Rempe did get some injuries there. He disappeared down about like the back of the he disappeared down towards the locker room. Sorry, William just sent me an inappropriate message.
But
But he disappeared for a while, and I didn't see him come back out until I think he came back out for like maybe a shift and then disappeared again for like some I don't know what went on. Maybe he had like a stitch or something, like started bleeding again. Who knows? And he did not get much playing time the rest of the night. I think he played a total of like maybe 3 minutes, and it's unfortunate for him. But you know, you live and you learn.
And
he learned.
The story that was told on Twitter after the game was basically this. So Matthew Olivier is out in warm-ups, and he's stretching and doing legs, stretching and moving his legs and get the blood going, all that stuff. And then he's right next to the dude he fought.
They were talking on the ice, yeah.
They were talking on the ice, and basically, I don't remember the exact context, but it was basically Matthew Olievier's like, "Hey, that was a good fight, but like, are you okay?" Because because he did get it pretty good the day before.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, well, that's a good fight, but I can understand why Matthew Olivier is like, hey, are you okay? And
well, yeah, he's a fighter himself. He understands the risk and what happened and everything. Yeah.
So he's like, are you okay? And then, Rempe's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then when the game started, right when the game started, that's about like 2 minutes into when the game starts.
Yeah,
that's
like 2 or 3 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes in, that's when Rempe gets in there and challenges him that you want to fight, and then that's when he does it. And look,
Some notes from that game, actually.
and to the people who were saying that, Matthew Olivier didn't win that fight, I'm sorry, you're wrong. That's not objectively true. Matthew Olivier just beat the crap
He
out of
beat the
him.
crap out of him, and then to save him some more, he threw him to the ground.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, because you could see him. I mean, he's fighting the guy with the longer arm reach and everything like that. He has a hold of his collar. He just grabs the jersey with his other hand and just like judo throws him down to the ground. And which great move. Wow, you want to
So,
end
like,
a good fight? That was
yeah,
amazing.
it was. So, for the people saying that Matthew Olivier didn't win that fight, I'm sorry, you're wrong. That's objectively not true. Matthew Olivier won. He just destroyed him. Just boom,
It's
boom,
cool. I think the
boom,
guy that I saw
boom.
said it has us blocked anyway.
But it's like it's just wrong. Matthew Olivier won, just like boom,
Shit.
boom, boom, just big punches, and it was just a great fight. And the Blue Jackets posted this picture of Matthew Olivier all over their social media pages of Matthew Olivier after the fight. It was just a great picture. So here it is.
Oh yeah. If you watch the replay where he's doing that, he's like skating away. He like puts his arms up a little bit and it's like the place just went wild. It was so loud in there. I mean, at the time I was up in the press box, so there weren't people screaming next to me, but it was loud. Like you couldn't have heard me say anything. People went nuts over it, and the team seemed to be inspired by it too.
Yes, I mean, look, this is just a tough son of a bitch. What a banger! Just a beautiful picture, a tough picture. The dude,
Mississippi boy from Biloxi.
The dude's got a tough look on his face, like, yeah, I just kicked your ass. I just kicked your ass, man.
Like that's not. I don't think that's his own blood on his face.
No, like
like
he's just like, yeah, he's got a tough look on his face, like he's proud of himself. Like, yeah, I just kicked your ass, dude. I just destroyed you. It was just great. And of course, blood on the face.
Gladiator in the Coliseum.
Blood on the face, blood on the jersey. It's just a tough, awesome picture of Matthew Olivier.
Yeah.
And like you said, shortly after that fight that Matthew Olivier did, Blue Jackets score a goal. Kirill Marchenko with an absolutely beautiful pass to Dmitry Voronkov. Blue Jackets
can I say something real quick about Voronkov? He, with that goal, now has 16 goals for the season. He is third of all NHL rookies this year. Well, he's third behind two people who are tied for first. So it's Connor Bedard and Marco Rossi. And they each have 17, which is only one more than he has. Granted, Bedard was out with injury for a while there too. We'll see how that picks up from now to the end of the year. He's back. But Voronkov, what a beast. First year in, 16 goals already. Let's go.
He is such a beauty, absolute stud, a beauty. He's been so fun to watch. But Voronkov scores. The Blue Jackets are winning 1-0. They take the lead. The Rangers do score. They tied up at 1. And then in the second period, the Blue Jackets score. It's Kirill Marchenko, awesome goal. Rangers score again, so it's 2-2. But from that point on, Rangers didn't really have anything because then Jack Roslovic scores to make it 3-2.
Great goal by Roslovic.
Great goal by Roslovic. Awesome pass by Johnny Gaudreau to set up the goal. And then in the third period,
Johnny Gaudreau's kind of finding his groove too. He has been heating up big time.
And then Ivan Provorov scores to make it 4-2. Awesome shot by him. So that was basically the game right there because the Rangers, they had some chances in the third that they just couldn't put it in, and the Blue Jackets win 4-2. And Elvis Merzlikins played a great game. And overall, it was a good game played by the Blue Jackets, one of the best ones they had all season.
Overall, good game played by Russians, literally. So at one point, there was 3 people who scored goals. They were all Russian. Artemi Panarin, former Blue Jacket, by the way. Dude, every time, even still to today, every time he touches the puck, he gets booed. Let it go, people.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we hate when we make fun of teams for doing that to Johnny Gaudreau, for instance.
Yeah.
Let it go. it's kind of it's humorous though, so I think people just get a kick out of it. Anyway, Artemi Panarin scored, Marchenko, Voronkov scored, Provorov scored, and then of course we had man, I can't remember who the other Ranger was, but then we had Jack Roslovic score for the Blue Jackets, and he kind of ruined the streak going there. But great game.
But three of the four, but like he said, 3 of the 4 goals that the Blue Jackets scored in that game were scored by Russian players for the Blue Jackets. Dmitry Voronkov, Kirill Marchenko, and Ivan Provorov, and Jack Roslovic being the only one that's not Russian that scored a goal for the Blue Jackets in that game. And another interesting stat that I saw on Twitter, it was, but one of these stats had to end. They were head to head, clashing. The Rangers were 9-0 on back-to-backs this season. The Blue Jackets were 0-6 on Sundays this season.
And the Rangers were on like an 11-game win streak. 10. This would have been their 11th win. Yeah.
So Rangers on a 10-game winning streak. The Rangers were 9-0 on back-to-backs this season, and the Blue Jackets were 0-6 on Sundays. One of those things had to end. And for the Rangers, they are now 9-1 on back-to-backs, and their 10-game winning streak is no more. It's gone. And now, instead of being 0-6 on Sundays, the Blue Jackets are now 1-6 on Sundays this season.
We're getting there, guys.
Yeah. No, and you know what? I mean, I just put an article out. Oh no, it's actually going to come out tomorrow. Talking about the future of the Blue Jackets, and I really think that even though this year's not been great, the veterans who are on the team right now are going to have a huge impact on the future of this team, because they have a lot of young players looking up to them, and they're helping teach things, guide them in ways. And I mean, much like Yarmo, whether or not some of the veterans might get traded away at times, like, they're going to have a long-lasting impact on the team as a whole. And it's not easy to lead a team through a losing season. When you're winning, everything's happy. Like, it's kind of easy to be like, yeah, guys, just do that again. Good job. And everything is good. But when you're losing, and you're losing a lot, and you're the captain, Boone Jenner, or you're like one of the alternate captains, or even like the coach, you have to lead your team through that. It's hard. It's just so much harder than like winning a whole lot. And or I can imagine it would be. I don't know. I've not really been a coach. I've really been on a losing team like that either. Like, many of these guys probably haven't until recently as well. I mean, we have guys from Michigan coming on board and whatnot. So looking forward to what the future lies in store for the future of the Blue Jackets, for sure. They showed some great glimpses of that in that Ranger game. Great teamwork, great passing, few mistakes, and it's time to make that a habit.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that from here on out too, it seems like so. I'll talk about this last thing, and I'm gonna hand it over to you to close. So it seems that I totally lost my train of thought. Oh my god. I feel so ridiculous now. Oh yeah. So you know how there's been a lot of new faces on the team. There's been over 66 line combinations this year. Sometimes there's been people called up, but down to the monsters. There's been injuries again. So with the way that last season went with the injuries and all the shuffling around, and this year, it's almost understandable that the team has not been super cohesive, and they haven't gelled together quite as much. Because you got to think about this too. Goodbranson and Gaudreau are only on their second full season with the team. It can take a while for even an experienced veteran to fully blend into a team and to understand that play style, for both the team to understand their play style and him to understand the teams. And so this season, while it's disappointing, is also not necessarily the biggest surprise in that. But towards now we're 3/4 of the way through the year. And now that they're starting to connect passes, they're knowing where people are. They're doing blind passes, no looks, and they're understanding where people are on the ice. There was one pass the other night that went really to no one. Marchenko was down by the net in the Rangers game, and he did kind of like a spinorama backhand. It just kind of flew out into the middle of the ice, and nobody was there to get it and whatnot.
I know what you're getting at there. He's kind of on a kind of a breakaway thing, and
He should have shot it.
Instead, I know what he's trying to do there. He's trying to pass it to Yegor Chinakhov, where if Yegor Chinakhov gets that puck, he's wide open, and he has a good chance to score on that, which is understandable, and I can see why he did that. But Kirill Marchenko, I know you're good. You've become a much better passer at the puck, and you've helped set up some awesome goals. But
get greedy.
Get greedy. But realistically, what is the main reason why Kirill Marchenko is in the NHL with the Blue Jackets? I'll tell you what that main reason is. It's because he's a sniper and he's really good at shooting the puck and scoring goals. So my preference is in that situation is shoot the puck, put it on net, because you more likely than not with Kirill Marchenko, it's probably going to go in the net. I understand why he did it, because he sees Yegor Chinakhov and trying to set him up for a pass, and if Chinakhov gets it, it's probably a goal because he's got a good shot there. But you're Kirill Marchenko. You're good at shooting the puck in that scenario. I would have been better, in my opinion, if you would have shot it.
Yeah, it was one of those times you could hear people in the stands being like, shoot the puck. And you know how there's always that one guy at a game that's like, shoot the puck. Like, dude, they're hockey players. They know how, they know they're supposed to shoot it and to win. But, at that moment, I almost was screaming it too. Just like, shoot it. I saw him pass. It was kind of a bummer, but anyway.
My thing is when I see that happen during a game and I'm watching on my computer, it happens every time. You got to put that on net, So, but it happens. You rather have him shoot it, but you understand why he did it. It is what it is, and you do make a good point, Hefty Duck, is that you do see a lot more cohesiveness, better passing, and it just seems better now. They're getting to a point where it just seems better. They're playing better offense, better defense, better passing. It's just coming together. And I'm paraphrasing the quote, but the Blue Jackets posted something all over social media of a quote that Pascal Vincent said in a press conference. And the basic idea of it is basically that they're coming together. You can see it. And when you play as a team and you play for each other, that's when you start really taking off. And you can see it. You can legitimately see it.
Yeah, no. And I read that quote earlier and I thought it was really great. It says something is happening with that group. What I'm seeing is they work for each other right now. They play for each other. When you do that, that's when you create a team. So true. Yeah. Because when you aren't as familiar with the guys you're playing with, you really just have to try your best that you can do. But now that you're knowing everybody, I mean, you can kind of lean on these people now a bit. Not that you aren't trying to do your best that you can do, but you're not alone. You're not working alone,
Right.
I feel like, we'll get into this here next week, I'm sure a bit, but for now, I think we do have to wrap it up. Kevin, is there anything you'd like to, wait, I'm going to start with William.
Yeah.
William, is there anything you'd like to shout out or say yet today?
Shout out to Bjork Swag on Twitter and join the FHL. I'm gonna say it since they're not here. And follow me on Twitter at @CBJ fan. And finally, follow Brew Jackets on TikTok and Kick.
Do it. TikTok, and you said Kick?
Kick.
Kick?
Yeah.
Like the streaming thing? Okay, yeah,
It's
do that.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I'm not that old, William.
It's not the streaming thing. It's a different thing called Quicks. It's like TikTok.
Quicks.
Quicks.
TikTok
yes,
ripoff?
buddy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just follow us. Just look up
Yeah,
Brew
it's
Jackets, I guess.
Hefty Duck and I were, we're kind of a little bit too old for that.
Hey man, our birthday's
We're
coming
not
up real
exactly sure
soon.
what that is. Kind of old man yells at cloud boomer in regards to that stuff.
2 weeks to the day till our birthday.
Bam.
They are. We have a
Great.
short birthday.
No, but no. William does stuff for us that's very helpful because he's part of the younger generation that we don't necessarily get. So thank you, William.
Yeah. Dope. Well, yeah. On to you, Kev. Anything else that you'd like to add today?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep playing this video every time we do a show because I'm just so excited for it. That video being this.
Those of you listening, not watching, this is the hype video where it shows Boone Jenner standing in Ohio Stadium.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that one more time because that just really gets me going. I just love it.
So sick. Dude. Can't wait. That'll be March 1st. I can't believe it's finally officially announced though. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm just so excited for that. The Blue Jackets are getting an outdoor game, and I'm excited. I'm hyped, excited. It's just going to be great. I'm going to go there, and that may be besides like the home opener next season, that may be the only game I go to because it's going to be probably really expensive. But it is what it is because it's a once in a lifetime experience that the Blue Jackets will probably never get again. So if you have the chance to do it, you got to do it. Go see the Blue Jackets play at their outdoor hockey game at the Shoe at Ohio State when they play the Detroit Red Wings. It's just going to be great. I'm just so excited for it. And every show we do from now on, I'm just going to play that video because it's just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can't wait to. I mean, obviously, it's something that our account has posted about a lot on Twitter. A lot from you, but also from myself too. And
Yeah.
I'm looking a lot forward to. Oh, hey, sorry. I'll do this when I finish. Go ahead, continue.
No, you're right, Hefty Duck. If you're paying attention to like our show or our Twitter page, it's basically like one of a couple things. It's like you're calling out the dumb plumbing excuses that Ohio State used. We want a hockey game at the Shoe. Please let the Blue Jackets have one. Talking about Gavin Brindley, Blue Jackets prospect, and like one or two other things. That's basically our Twitter page in a nutshell, basically. But anyways, so yeah, I'm excited. The Blue Jackets are getting an outdoor hockey game at the Shoe. It's going to be great. I'm going to be there. Anyways, of course, can't forget about this stud. What a beauty. Just a beauty. William, just a beauty. And,
more dress clothes photos coming soon, by the way.
Oh, let's go. That's going to be great. And, this is such a great picture. What a stud.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's my current profile picture
Look
on
at
Twitter.
that, man.
Oh, you can find me. Got the purple curtain in the back.
Oh, that's
just there.
a great picture of Hefty Duck. What a beauty. Great picture. Anyways, so that's that. And let's see here. Okay, as I do every show, look.
We love Coop. We love Coop.
Yes, that's my brother's dog, Cooper, who I saw this past Saturday, and that was fun.
I got to see him too through video.
That is true, William. You did see Cooper on the Discord. You did.
That was the greatest day of my life.
Anyways, okay. Just again, Zach Wierenski. Just if you ever see this, just wear this suit because I need it for the memes and the laughter. But when you wore the suit during the 2016-2017 season, the Blue Jackets won a lot of games. So, I'm just saying, if you wore that suit, the Blue Jackets probably win a lot of games this season. And then you could have some fun with this. you and Adam Fantilli and Nick Blankenberg and Kent Johnson, and eventually Gavin Brindley could come in wearing Michigan suits, and I don't know, have some Blue Jackets probably wear an Ohio State suit. Do Ohio State, Michigan. I don't know. That's besides the point. Anyways, one last thing for me is, go check out Union Blue Soldiers, a fun Blue Jackets themed group that I run. So yeah, go check it out right here. Union Blue Soldiers. Go check it out. We got a lot of fun stuff planned for this upcoming year and beyond. It's just gonna be great. So again, go check out Union Blue Soldiers, a fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I help run. So there's that. Anyways, I'm out.
Dope. All right. So, speaking of Union Blue Soldiers and everything, obviously, with our posts and everything we've made, especially one recently where we talk about Chief Blue Jacket and how he's actually not related to the Blue Jackets themselves. Obviously, we love the Union Soldier theme. The Blue Jackets are based on literal soldiers from the Civil War. And so to me, it only makes sense that they do a lot of military appreciation stuff. So during games, if for some reason you've never been to a Blue Jackets games, go. Nationwide's arena is an amazing arena. It's nice. It's clean. Smells nice. Great food. But the Blue Jackets do a military salute every game. Where they bring out a military member or veteran. They stand next to Leo Welsh, who sings the national anthem, and then later on in the game, they're showcased up on the big screen, and everyone able to appreciate them for their service and give them some applause, and then they're gifted a military themed jersey, which Thursday night. This coming Thursday is Military Appreciation Night at Nationwide Arena for the Blue Jackets. And they're doing some really cool stuff. So I mentioned the military-themed jerseys. They're going to have an auction with some of that stuff in it. They're going to have a raffle as well for, I think, some jerseys and stuff. And they're doing something else that's really cool. But this is my main point is right here. They're doing these shout outs right now. So what they're looking for is military service members to honor during this military appreciation night Thursday. And they would like people to basically military members to submit their video. There's a link. I shared it on our Twitter, but you can find it on the Blue Jackets Twitter. You can find it on my personal Twitter at Lance Schrock. But if you know some military members, get them to make a video. They're going to be showcased during the game and on social media. And I'm going to be at the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing all these shout outs. I think it's one of the coolest things the Blue Jackets are get to do throughout the year. Like I said, obviously we love the Union Soldiers theme, but I also appreciate the modern day military too. They definitely have to sacrifice a lot and do a lot, and we're appreciative. So
shout out to our military friend Colin.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I'm gonna have to message him maybe to get him to do a shout out. Excellent. Anyway, I wanted to shout that out. Don't forget to, I mentioned following us on Twitter. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, whatever you're at, wherever you are watching us from or listening to us from. We appreciate all of you. And if you're going to a game, shout out the Blue Jackets. I'll come say hi. I'll come meet you. I had to meet a good friend, Laura Norman, last game as well. It's pretty cool from CBJ podcast. And I always like meeting people in real life there. I met a guy from the network ourselves, Neil Viapano from THPN there. Really neat. The reason I say this is because I saw JJ and Jackets didn't say anything before they went to a game the other night that I was at, and I'm not offended. I'm a little offended. But shout us out anyway. This has been a great episode. Thanks, guys, for being here. Thank you all for listening or tuning in as well. And we'll see you here in 1 week and a day. Normally we do Wednesdays, but tonight we had to do Tuesday because of tomorrow's game. And yeah, if there's any other Wednesday games, will be Tuesday. Keep it in mind. We'll post about it. Anyway, we'll see ya.